Rotterdam is the second biggest city in the Netherlands. It is quite famous for its modern city design and architecture, but it is more than famous for its single most important part, which is its seaport. The port of Rotterdam in the Netherlands is the busiest and biggest port in all of Europe. No port from bigger European countries like France, Italy, and the UK even comes close to how much cargo Rotterdam deals with. For comparison, Rotterdam Port handles almost double the amount of containers than Hamburg, the busiest port in Germany, and significantly more than the port of New York and New Jersey in America. Now, technically, Rotterdam shouldn't be the biggest port in Europe, because Germany is a way bigger exporter and importer than the Netherlands. Also, France, UK, and Germany are all bigger manufacturers than the Netherlands, and they are significantly more populated as well. As per statistics, the Netherlands is the 11th most populated country in Europe, yet in total cargo containers handled, it is third, just after Spain and Germany. And that's when 7 of these countries have more sea access than the Netherlands. So why does Rotterdam have such a big port, and why larger economies like the UK and Germany doesn't have a port at this position? Well, to understand what makes Rotterdam Port busy, let's first understand how any container port is actually considered busy. So, in easy words, the port has to be a transporter of a lot of cargo. Now, this cargo could be going somewhere from the port, or it could be coming from somewhere. But also, there's another case, in which the cargo is meant for a third destination, and the port is serving as just an intermediate location for the cargo. This means that the containers are unloaded at the port and then transferred to another ship, which might go to some other destination, also called transshipment. And in Rotterdam's case, it's the transshipment that makes the port busy. Any stuff in those thousands of containers is not coming for Rotterdam or even the Netherlands, but it is just passing through. Now, of course, that is not for every container. A portion of these are for the Netherlands, but the majority of these are for other European countries like France, Germany, the UK, and sometimes farther countries like Austria and Switzerland as well. The reason for this is Rotterdam's unique location, which helps cargo companies save a lot of money and time. You see, Rotterdam is at a very important location geographically. It is right on the delta of 2 of the most economically important rivers, Rhine and Meuse. Rhine, the river that goes into Germany, passes through the biggest manufacturing area in all of Europe, which is the Ruhr Valley or Rhine region in Germany. Ruhr is the historic headquarters of steel, mining, and automobile production, which are all the industries that use maritime transport as their bases. But Ruhr Valley is not where the river ends. The river goes further, to other important manufacturing areas and cities, which include Bonn, Cologne, Dusseldorf, and Basel in Switzerland. The river connects 5 of the biggest German cities and some French cities on the border as well. But more importantly, it connects major manufacturing sites, as most of the industries both in France and Germany are located near the Rhine River. These industries and the Ruhr Valley are the reason why Rotterdam's port is so busy. That's because Rotterdam Port is the nearest port to the Ruhr Valley, and more importantly, it is directly connected with the Rhine River. And since Europe acts as one country, there are no trade barriers between these countries, which allows the Ruhr area and the industries along the Rhine River in both Germany and France to access the port of Rotterdam. So what usually happens is that a big container ship will come to Rotterdam from China and unload all the containers there. Then those containers will get loaded on smaller, multiple inland vessels that will carry those containers to various locations in Germany through the Rhine and its canals. And the same is done when exporting. Those inland vessels will carry the manufactured products from different factories around the Rhine and deliver everything at Rotterdam, where it will be distributed on bigger ships to ports around the world. This network is so huge that more than half of the container ships sailing on European rivers are located in just the Netherlands and Germany. But not everything out of Rotterdam Port is transported with this network. A big portion is also transported by trains and trucks. In these methods as well, Rotterdam Port offers excellent connections, with highway connections to all of Europe and a specially designed rail track just for freight trains that goes straight into the Ruhr Valley. But even though there are good rail and road connections, these transport methods cannot compete with river transport, because river transport is just too much time and cost saving, which makes the Rhine an essential part of this operation. Now, the Rhine is surely the backbone of Rotterdam Port, but there's another river as well that plays an important part. The Meuse River joins the Rhine River about 40 miles from the Rotterdam Port and is connected to the port through a canal. It's not as big as the Rhine in size and cargo transfer, but it is important for its connections into Belgium. The river passes parts of the Netherlands and then crosses Belgium into France, and just like the Rhine, this river also passes a major industrial area. There are a lot of factories and manufacturing plants situated right by the river in Belgium and in the Netherlands as well. Now, with the Netherlands it's fine, but when it comes to Belgium, Rotterdam Port shouldn't be the one transporting their cargo. That's because Belgium is home to the second biggest European port, which is Antwerp, and more importantly, it is directly connected to the Meuse with a canal. Yet some industries in the Belgian region use Rotterdam Port to import and export their products instead of Antwerp. And it's not because Rotterdam is closer or has better connections, but because of economies of scale. It basically means that it's cheaper to send loads of stuff in one go to one place and then split it up. Every year, container ships grow in size because the more you ship at once, the less costly it is. So you want to avoid the port hopping done in previous centuries and take a super freighter and load it at point A, drive it to point B, unload ASAP, load, and get back to point A. This means trade traffic will concentrate at larger ports, which can logistically spread things to a large area. Now, Antwerp is a large port, but sometimes there would be more stuff going to Rotterdam than Antwerp. So, say a container ship from China is coming. It has the majority stuff for Germany and a little for, let's say, Belgium and the UK. So it won't stop at all the ports of these countries. It will go to Rotterdam because it is the only one that could transport all these locations most efficiently and save money. And that's the reason why not only shipments from Belgium go through here, but also cargo for other European countries, which may even be in the route of the cargo ship as well. Plus, let's talk about the port itself. Rotterdam is right on the sea, and Antwerp is almost 80 kilometers or 50 miles inward. The same is true for Hamburg Port and Bremen. All these things tie in to make Rotterdam a perfect logistical hub for cargo shipping. And since it not only serves the Netherlands, but Europe as a whole, it's hard for other ports in countries like the UK or Italy to be as big as Rotterdam. And even if a country wants to change this, they can't, because it's a massive, complex economic and logistics system that can't be controlled by one single country. And more importantly, they don't have to, because Europe belongs to a single market. Overall, the port of Rotterdam is successful because of its location in Europe, good shipping and freight rail connection with the European hinterland, and free trade between European countries.